Evening all, it's Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. It's been a few days since I did a reading. I was going to do one the other day and then I just got knocked a bit sideways with what has just happened to Charlie Kirk and the subsequent ridiculousness coming out of people's mouths on social media. But prayers to Charlie Kirk's family and all that. This reading is not going to be about Charlie Kirk or Charlie Kirk's work or the work of Turning Point, but the words turning point have been going through my head for the last probably 4 days. We have hit a turning point, and not just in the battle for free speech and the rise of patriotism and the increase in the uptake in Christianity and people being more interested in going to church and family values and back to basics and all that kind of thing. There seems to be this turning point in politics, and I'm wondering whether the crux of it, because it's almost like ever since Labour got into power, there's been this stone rolling downhill very, very slowly, but it feels like it's gathered momentum now. And I really do wonder whether this Peter Mandelson issue is going to be the kiss of death for Keir Starmer. Now, it's not going to be the kiss of death for the Labour Party, but and whoever replaces Keir Starmer, let me tell you, will be far worse, but short-lived. But I'm wondering whether this Mandelson affair is the kiss of death. They used to call Mandelson what did they used to call him? The Dark Prince? Was it the Dark Prince? For those of you who don't know, Mandelson is a very controversial Labour Party politician. His roots actually go way, way back to, I think it's Bevans, the original Labour Party. He's related to a cabinet member of Bevan's time. But he's got a very shady past. He has been sacked from his job on several occasions over controversy, shall we say. But then I don't think anybody was more surprised than much of the Labour Party, actually, when Keir Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson to be the ambassador, the British ambassador to America. Now, in the light of what's come out about Mandelson we knew about Mandelson's friendship, shall we say, with Jeffrey Epstein. And I always wondered whether Mandelson was chosen as a bit of a, someone who could probably manipulate Trump, because Trump also had a friendship with Epstein, although Trump says he hadn't had anything to do with him for 15 years. Mandelson can't say the same thing. But when he was appointed to be British ambassador to the US, I thought that might be for blackmail-y type of reasons. But I mean, none of us can ever prove that. But the Congress, or part of Congress, have document dropped on Monday, and in these documents are letters to Epstein from Peter Mandelson professing his love for him, even after Epstein was indicted and charged and imprisoned for sexual exploitation of young people, minors, shall we say. Now, Peter Mandelson, apparently, and according to Keir Starmer, he trusted him, and he had him thoroughly vetted, and nothing came out in the vetting. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe it at all. And when this information came out, it also came to light that the security services actually warned Starmer that there would be a possibility of scandal coming out in the near future, and it did. And it did. So rather than Starmer sacking Mandelson, Yvette Cooper, the new foreign secretary, had to take him to one side and tell him that support for his position was withdrawn. So, cards today, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krantz, and I've brought back the predictions deck. I don't know how long I'll bring this one back for, because I'm not sure it's had a long enough rest. Predictions deck by Trisha James. So I just want to I want to see if the tarot is going to tell us whether Peter Mandelson, the Prince of Darkness, has just given the kiss of death to Keir Starmer, because I actually do think it's the end is seriously nigh for Keir Starmer. It's the predictions first. On here we have Black Obsidian and Tiger's Eye, because I felt that everywhere needs some proper grounding. We need bringing back down to earth, coming out of our heads into stability, back into grounding. Grounded in thought, grounded in spirit, grounded in mind, grounded in body. I'm also conscious that after, I know it's a side note, that it is the Unite the Kingdom March tomorrow, and I was going to do a Unite the Kingdom March reading ahead of that to see how that's going to go. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to preempt anything. I do feel there's going to be some attempts to derail it. I don't think those attempts are going to be successful. But I do think Tommy Robinson's right when he says, in the spirit of Charlie Kirk, we need to start standing up and speaking for what we believe in. We need to start saying the truth and not ignoring it because we're frightened. So Peter Mandelson. We've got Rescue Revived. Okay. We've got Changes Coming. And we have Controlled Puppet. Okay. So Rescue Revived. I think this is pertaining to the recent cabinet reshuffle, the move around, if you like. And I think I'm thinking that the withdrawal of support for Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the US. The thinking here is that they've rescued the party by doing so. But this stone is still rolling down the hill. It is still gathering momentum and huge changes are coming. I think there's going to be an exposing of who's been pulling the strings behind the scenes. I really do. I'm going to put these to one side for now. Which way did they go? That one, that one, that one. I'm going to put them to one side for now. Can you tell I'm tired? I'm really tired today. I don't know what's up with me. Let me expel that energy. So Peter Mandelson, has he just given Keir Starmer and his position the kiss of death? Now, there were rumours earlier this morning when I was listening to the radio that Mandelson has threatened to take Keir Starmer with him. So I'm wondering if Mandelson, because that does remind me of him, I'm wondering if Mandelson's going to get a different position, but not in the spotlight. I'm wondering if he has got information on Kier Starmer. I mean, the man's had his nose in the Labour Party, whether he's been a Labour minister or not, ever since he was the one that started the new Labour movement, and he was the one that put Tony Blair where he was. Mandelson is a very divisive, very controversial figure. Very controversial. He is the kiss of death. But whether he has just given Keir Starmer the kiss of death, we'll find out. I should imagine. Let's have a look. I do feel that Keir Starmer is very close to throwing his hat in. I don't think he's ever been closer, to be fair. Yvette Cooper has been associated with Peter Mandelson since day dot. Back in the New Labour days. Ooh. We have the Two of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. And we've got the Seven of Wands. Right, so the Two of Cups talks about partnerships, relationships. It can also be a choice. Now, these roses don't appear to have any thorns on them in this photo. It does feel like I would say that the decision to send Mandelson to America as ambassador was a decision made between the two friends, Keir Starmer, possibly, and Mandelson, or even Tony Blair and Keir Starmer, because Tony Blair is very, very much in the forefront, although he's in the background, if you know what I mean. And then we've got this Four of Pentacles. Now, fours are about foundations, about setting foundations. You see, I'm feeling like this is, I don't know why, but I'm seeing this as a selfish act. So this decision was a mutual one between friends. Now, these red roses reminds me of Valentine's Day. I don't know if there's any relationship history between Starmer and Mandelson. I don't know, but it feels like a relationship to me. But with the red roses, it feels like a romantic relationship. So maybe Mandelson's got information on Starmer, and that's why they made that decision to put him back in the spotlight. And also because he knows Epstein, loved Epstein, and Donald Trump had dealings with Epstein. Maybe this was a mutual decision to throw Mandelson in there in order to act as some kind of blackmail type situation. But this feels like that was done as a purely selfish act. And I don't know why I'm getting that from this card, but I am getting that from this card. It feels like it's all about self-preservation. That's what this feels like to me. If you look, this looks like a person wrapped up in cotton wool, with their arms still wrapped up in cotton wool, and all their worldly goods are within that boundary. It feels like self-preservation. So this decision was made for self-preservation reasons. And then we've got this Seven of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. It normally talks about an apprenticeship or being apprentice, learning on the job, that kind of thing. But I'm not seeing that at all in this. I'm seeing the hunter's belt, the Orion's belt, hunter's belt. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some connection between Mandelson, Starmer, and the Biden family. So I don't know whether this is some deal between the Biden family and Starmer to put Mandelson in there, as a bit of a plant through self-preservation purposes. I do think this might have something to do with the Biden family. It might sound really out there, but that's how I'm seeing it. It's what I'm hearing. And then this card, we've got the Seven of Wands. This is normally about a battle, if you like. It's normally about some sort of battle. But this one I'm seeing as, when you see television programs or old movies of historical movies, when people are looking for some lost little lamb in a field and they've got these torches here and they're desperately searching, they're like manhunting. This feels like a manhunt. So this decision was made for self-preservation reasons. It has something to do with the Biden family. And it's also sparking off some kind of manhunt. Manhunt. What does that mean? A manhunt. Are they actually? Is this what this means? Controlled puppet. Rescue revived. And that. Okay. This feels like it's quite fated. This actually feels like this was a deal in order to self-preserve something, possibly bring back the Democrats back, something to do with the Biden family. But this manhunt is seeking out those who are not acting on the best interests of the population. And I'm seeing this as not just the UK, I'm seeing this as America as well, I'm sorry to say. Then we've got the Three of Swords. So this deal to self-preserve was always going to end in heartbreak. It was always going to be unsuccessful. Always going to be unsuccessful. Not taking more than one. If it's due to come out, it will. Then we've got the Ace of Cups. With this change coming, we've got the Ace of Cups. Change coming, Ace of Cups, both middle cards. So this was never going to be successful. Because this is like a fated thing. This is to self-preserve and keep things the same. Change is inevitable. Change is the only inevitable thing in life. Nothing ever stays the same. Too many. And then we've got, am I taking them? Am I taking them? We've got that card and then that card. So what's it? Justice? Ooh. So this deal, this Mandelson, this Labour pact, if you like, was never ever going to win. It was never going to be sustained. It was never meant to. It was meant for other things. It was meant, I'm seeing this, it was, while you've got in these background cards trying to self-preserve, this was never meant to happen. Things were never meant to stay the same. We weren't meant to have the same political party guys in different colours. We were meant to have change. And then because of that, this is where it's becoming miserable for all the parties involved, because they're desperately trying to cling on to the same, to cling on to conformity, and nothing ever changing. It will change. It's going to change, and that change is being forced upon them, and they don't like it. But this Ace of Cups brings about the promise of new life, new love, new friendship, new community, new ways of doing things. Cups are about emotions. It's about family. It's about your dreams. It's like this is going to be the fulfillment of dreams, but not from the perspective of trying to keep things the same no matter what. And then between this Orion's Belt and this manhunt, we've got justice. I think people are going to start, certain individuals who have incredibly murky pasts, incredibly murky presents, and expect to have incredibly murky futures are going to get rooted out. Justice is about whatever happens, it's always going to be the right thing in the end. It could be a tough road, but it's going to be all right in the end. And then we've got the Seven of, oh, that was the Seven of Wands. Oh, we've got the Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands talks about success. But I'm not sure about this one, because on the one hand, you've got the rainbow here, and then you've got these wands in the darkness. So I think that this justice is coming. You can't stop it. These people will be outed. It cannot be stopped. Success is not necessarily guaranteed, because it feels like people in the shadows with sticks. I know there's no people on the cards, but it feels like we need more people to come out and be visible. But will that happen? Will people become more visible? Will people become more emboldened to speak their mind and to stick together? It has to be a stick together kind of thing. You've got the Chariot. This Chariot is really, really interesting. It's a horse on its own, and it's got the half moon. It's got the crescent moon at its third eye, new moon at its third eye. We've just had a full moon. We've got a new moon in this card, and that new moon in that horse's third eye is really, really jumping out at me. This horse has a pentacle around its neck, and then it's got the sun in the background. Horses are prey animals. Oh, I actually get it. Horses are prey animals, which means that a rustling leaf or a gust of wind or a sudden move can make a horse really, really jumpy and take flight, run. But this Chariot horse is one that isn't acting in a prey kind of way. Now, as a race, as a population, we have been acting like prey animals because we've been shutting our mouths. We've been hiding ourselves away. We've not been saying anything. We have been keeping ourselves to ourselves. And at the first sign of any sort of danger, we've fled. We've shut our traps. We've shut our mouths. We've stayed away from other people. That's been going on for a long, long time. This prey animal is not an animal of prey, not an animal that can be preyed upon anymore. This is moving forward with determination, and this new moon is really significant. So I don't know when the new moon is. I should imagine in the next couple of weeks. There's going to be in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be this huge leap forward. People will be taking up the baton with each other, friends. I don't know where wassail comes from. I don't know what that means, but I've just heard wassail. It's a celebration. This is a celebration of community, of people togetherness, justice. This is drive to move forward. It feels like the fall of this need to stay in continuity and to self-preserve gives way to like a whole new oh, look at that, beautiful. A whole new take on life. It's like a lease of life, a whole new lease on life. And then we've got the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles is a choice. It's talks about juggling your money and robbing Peter to pay Paul, or trying to balance the books, or trying to balance life and work and everything else. That's going to continue, but it's going to continue in a transformed state, because that butterfly is much more, the butterfly of transformation is much more important than this small details. I think the populations of the US and the UK, particularly the UK, because that's what I'm reading on, I think this deal over Mandelson was doomed to failure. It was there to self-preserve. There's some allegiance with the Democratic or Biden family. There's going to be a manhunt. These people are going to be exposed. Their agenda was never going to win, but it's almost like it feels like this agenda was on a time frame, like a timer. It was on a timer, and it was just waiting for people to come together with a different attitude, expect justice, pick up the baton, confidently move forward. Because as soon as this Ace of Cups came out, and I do think Charlie Kirk has something to do with that. I do think Tommy Robinson has something to do with that. I do think, for all his faults, Kier Starmer has an integral part in that. But it's almost like the timer didn't start, like the countdown to the end of this didn't start until people started to open their eyes, open their mouths, speak the truth, and be unashamedly who they are. Be willing to take up the battle, be determined to move forward and transform ourselves into the beautiful butterflies and warriors that we are. Peter Mandelson, I just think it was, the whole thing feels like fate to me. I think Kier Starmer thought he was being clever, but I just want to know, is this going to bring Kier Starmer down? Is it going to bring Kier Starmer down? They flew. Now, I always used to get the devil. Oof. I think it is. And the reason why is because this is an addiction card, or an attachment that you shouldn't have. And I always used to get the devil for Starmer a lot. I always used to get the hermit for Starmer a lot as well. But the devil is something they can't let go of. And I think Starmer can't let go of this. He's got an idea of himself as, big on the world stage and some fantastic world leader. And I think he wants to be known as a fantastic leader that will go down in history, but he don't measure up, but he's got an attachment to it. And then we've got the Five of Pentacles, lack. He's losing support left, right and centre. I actually do think this Mandelson affair is going to end Starmer. I don't think it's going to end the Labour Party. And I do think once Starmer goes, I think that what the Labour Party has to offer is going to be a damn sight worse. But it will be short-lived, because they won't be able to do it. There's not enough talent. There's not enough experience in the Labour Party. Could be worse. We could be looking at one or two of the front bench. I mean, I know that Bridget Phillipson has put her hat in for Deputy Prime Minister, and I know Keir Starmer wants her to have that job. But it's not down to Keir Starmer. It's down to the Parliamentary Labour Party. And Christ knows who they want, I dread to think. And it's not even a case of better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Because the devil you don't know is going to be just as bad, if not worse. But these corruptions and dodgy dealings, there was a timer set, and all it was waiting for is for people to reach out to one another in harmony community. And that's where we are. And I think Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally will go incredibly well. There will be some attempts at infiltrating that. I don't think it will be very successful. But I think it's going to be a good day, and I'm going to be watching it from the moment it starts until it finishes. So there might not be a reading tomorrow night. It all depends how I feel. I'm not very well at the moment. It just happens sometimes. And just to finish off, Elena H, U4W, you haven't come forward for the prize of the tarot cards and the book. If I don't do a reading tomorrow night, I will redraw this if Elena doesn't come forward, and I'll just do one final draw. And if I don't get them out of the hat, I'll just, I don't know. I'll have to just keep going, won't I, until I get one. But I just hope that the next one I draw is someone who actually watches my videos and not someone who's come across a video, entered a draw and then not watched anymore. I hope it's just one of my regulars that gets it, because I know they'll go to a good home. Right, I'm off, and I'll see you tomorrow or Sunday. It all depends. See you later. Ta-ra!